So I was talking to a student this past week, and it always seems whenever I try to teach theory, even just the most basic stuff, kids don't like it. It's just like, oh, theory. So the guy asked, the kid, boy, the dude asked, like, okay, I know you're trying to teach me theory and stuff, and you keep trying to teach me theory and stuff, but I just want to play some songs, and the theory stuff is so boring. Why do I need to know theory, aside from just it's good to know? And I said, well, okay, exactly, it's good to know, just having that knowledge. Okay, but he had a good point. So you have all this knowledge, so what? Okay, it's like somebody that gets like a doctorate in some sort of like theoretical, it's like, okay, great, so they have all this knowledge, but now what do you do with it? And that's sort of the question. Actually, not even theoretical, just in anything. If somebody goes to medical school and top of their class, doctor, whatever, and they get their medical degree and all of that stuff, and then they open a lemonade stand. Like, okay, they have all this knowledge and did nothing with it. So I was thinking, like, okay, how does theory really apply in the real world? Okay, and I jotted down a couple of notes. So the first thing is, it helps you relate what you're playing to something. So I have students and they're like, well, I just want to like learn some songs and stuff. So I go, okay, great. And they go, whatever, I'm just making up stuff. And they do that and it's a song. Great. They've memorized all of this sort of randomness of just where to put my fingers on what frets, on what strings, and that's it. Okay? You can learn things so much easier if you understand what it's about, what you're doing, what's going on. So here's an excellent example. Okay? I want you to memorize 10 numbers that I'm going to give you, okay, and then excuse me, and then tell them back to me. Okay, so you ready? Here are the 10 numbers. Don't slow down the video or anything like that. Don't stop the video. Don't write stuff down. Just memorize these numbers, okay? 300, 8, 52, 97.1, 8.3, 17, 695, 8,312,006, -5, and 29. Okay. Can you spit back? Can you say, how many of those 10 numbers can you remember? I don't know, a couple? I don't know. I don't even remember what they were because they're random numbers. I just randomly blah, blah, blah. Okay, and you could say, well, I stalled in between numbers and made it more difficult. Okay, but you know what? That doesn't make it doesn't matter because it's impossible. You can't remember them all unless you have a completely photographic memory. So now I'm going to give you 10 numbers and I want you to spit them back to me. 10, 20, 30. Now I'm going to make it hard and talk in the middle and then go really fast. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Okay, can you tell me what those numbers were? I'll bet you can. Even if you pause the video, go outside for a walk, have a bite to eat, whatever, come back, inside the video again, you'll still remember them. Why? It was still 10 numbers. You could say, well, because they were smaller numbers. Okay, I could just give you numbers, 8, 3, 2, 9, 5, 1, 7, 6, 3, and 2. Like, I don't know. I repeated some numbers, whatever. What were they? I don't know. Okay. What I did that second time, the numbers, your brain went, oh, he's counting by tens. So now that relation, you can relate those numbers to something real that you already know. It's really easy to remember those numbers, okay? You could probably still remember them now. I can remember them. It was 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Easy, okay? So that's one of the biggest reasons why knowing some theory will help in the real world. So the kid wants to learn an AC/DC tune, okay? And I go, oh, well, it's this, this. And they go, oh, okay, so that's the 1 chord, the 5 chord, the 4 chord. Oh, that's so easy. Automatically, they've related it, that song, whatever song it is, to something they already know, and they can remember it. Bam. It bothers me when people say, like, oh, well, learning theory and using all of that makes you less creative and all that. And I know that Steve Lukather, I'm like, the dude from Toto, Steve Lukather, I know he had a thing just recently where he sort of went off on all of that. Whatever, everybody has their opinions. My opinion is knowing, the more you know, the better. Does it stifle creativity? It does if you let it, but I don't think you need to let it. I think you can use it as an important tool to do what you want to do. So let's say that you're writing a song and you go, okay, this and this and this. I was doing one with a student and he had C and E minor and G, and I'm like, great, you're in the key of C, that's awesome. Not that C major's a special key, but there we are, everything works, great. And then he played a D major chord, and it sounded good, but it's not in the key of C major. So all of a sudden we had to sort of reconfigure and sort of step back, and I explained that it's in the C Locrian mode, and that's why the D still sounds good, because it has the F sharp. I don't want to lose anybody with all the technical chit-chat jargon, but it still works because now we're just in a different key. And then he said, well, okay, that's great, and now I'm not sure what I want to do for bridge because I have C major, E minor, G, D, like that's all cool, but I want the bridge to be different. I want it to sound different, like maybe kind of, like even a little more sad, I don't know. So I said, okay, well, let's take a look at the key, blah, 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 and A minor fits the C Locrian scale. A minor is great. So you can sort of temporarily move the focus from C major to A minor for the bridge. And he played it and he came up with something and he's like, wow, that's amazing. Like, you're a genius. And I said, no, I just looked at it and you already had 1 chord, 2 chords, 3 chords, 4 chords. You had 4 out of the 7 basic triads in this key. A minor is another basic triad. So, and it's minor, and that's what you asked for, and that's what it is. Bam. It's like so simple, and he was blown away. Like, wow. So, it's just right there. The answer was right there? And I said, yes. So that's why I think learning some theory on any instrument can be so important. So, like, let's say you're stumped and you're looking for a chord or whatever. If we go back to the counting by tens thing, okay, if I say, okay, let's think of what the next item in this is going to be, the next chord, the next, in this case, the next number in this little list that we have. Okay, and I go 10, 20, 30, 40. What would be the next number that you think would fit? 50. Out of the infinite number of numbers in the world, infinite, the single answer was so obvious, because that's what music theory helps you do. Okay? Where it messes with people is where they go 10, 20, 30, 40, the next has to be 50. It cannot be anything else. That is incorrect. If you rewind the video and check, I don't believe I said, what does the next number in this pattern have to be? I might have, I don't know. But, you know, it doesn't have to be. Because you're writing, you can do whatever you want. You can be creative. So you can go 10, 20, 30, 40, 52. Or 10, 20, 30, 40, 44. You can do whatever. 7 million. It doesn't matter. All that matters is you like how it came out. But having the theory allows you to go, okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 is the obvious choice. 50 is the one that makes the most sense. And then you just decide, do I want to make the most sense? Or do I not? I mean, if you're writing a pop song and it's going to be 3 minutes and 15 seconds long, and it's, you know, you're shooting for something that everyone's going to sing along to, I think your answer is probably going to be 50 for that next piece. But it doesn't have to be. So I think that's what theory helps people do. So, long rambling monologue about my thoughts on the importance of learning at least some theory.